Welcome to episode 75. Hannah is not here today. She had to pick her mother up for the airport, but I am delighted to introduce you to my guest. And I wrote the introduction, so before I say her name, you'll all sit in suspense until I read you this fantastically dramatic, incredible intro. Here we go. With a voice that echoes of raw, heart squished emotion and lyrics that will cut your face off. She has carved out a space all her very own in the world of indie rock and folk. She's known for her haunting melodies, her introspective songwriting. She's a master at weaving together vulnerability and grit, creating music that resonates long, so long after the last note fades, whether she's exploring love, loss, or the darker corners of being human. How hard is this to listen to, by the way, why it's being talked about? Of being human. Her sound is unmistakable. It's bold. It's unapologetic. It's deeply authentic. Please get ready to meet my friend, my new best friend, my online homie, and one of the most incredible singer-songwriters I've ever heard. She has a unique blend of alt country, rock, and soul that has just kicked my ears ass for the past 3 weeks. Please welcome the lovely, the talented Jessica Lee Mayfield.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Oh wow, that was the sweetest thing ever. And I'm glad that you said the new best friend thing because I feel that way too. I feel like we're gonna be besties.
Absolutely. Super big homies. I have to tell you a fun human moment. So people know. So I was unfamiliar with your stuff as prior to you knowing me. You were unfamiliar with my stuff. We ran across each other on the Insta. And at first I was just like, who is this cool person with every day has different colored hair? And and I was like, and she has cool tats and whatever. And then I was like, finally I followed back. And then I was like, oh, I guess she's a musician, not to be arrogant or anything else. Just I'm like, I was unfamiliar. And I was like, I'm gonna listen to your stuff. And the first song I heard was Hearts Are Wrong. That's the first thing that came up. Okay. And then from there, I just went on this insane deep dive into all of your music. And oh my goodness, one after the other. And it's just like this, it's like this real cool alt country sort of like, I don't know, it's so fun, but it was really fun to discover. And here's the funny part. So you like my jokes and stuff. And the other day, I was scrolling and I saw you liked another comics post. And in that moment, I was like, ah.
Yeah, I mean, I do enjoy laughter. I do like to laugh.
That's good.
Who was the other comedian?
I don't even remember. I just remember seeing your name on another comics post, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be a bad day. I can't believe this.
I'm so sorry. No. I betrayed you by getting my laughs elsewhere.
Yeah, you had total betrayal. So I saw you posted the other day a music video of when you were performing with your family in a bluegrass band from a long time ago. Was it One Way Rider? Was that the band name?
Yeah, it was One Way Rider. So my parents started it when we were little kids. When I was like a real little kid, One Way Rider, and then it was that for a while, and then later on it became as me and my brother and sister got old enough to be in the band, and they replaced all their band members with free family members, the free work, free employment of the family business. It became the Mayfield family.
Okay, and your brother does production also, right? He's still musical.
My sister isn't anymore. My brother, he does like bluegrass music, and his stuff's pretty great. His videos are pretty funny. And yeah, we traveled around on a bus like gypsy. I had the weirdest, most unconventional childhood out of anyone I've ever met. It was odd. It was an interest, I think there's not a lot of people I can relate to when they start talking about, oh, what did you have, what did your school serve in the lunch or cafeteria? And it's like, nah, like I was like playing on the street for tips for like dollar cheeseburgers. You know what I mean?
And from what age? From what age to what age were you doing that?
So we moved on to the bus when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And I went to school for like 3 months to try it out, and I had no idea what anybody was talking about, and I just got like bullied and like beat up by the other kids and like quit. I was just like, that was too weird. I just came in and I'm like, oh, you know, I don't know. It was just too fucking weird. But yeah. So from 8 until like 13 or 14, we lived on the bus. So the bus didn't have running water. It didn't have electricity a lot of the times unless we had somewhere to like plug it in. So, you know, we're like washing out of like buckets, and I'd go into like truck stops and fill up like jugs of water for the family, and like, cause they always gave the embarrassing jobs to me.
Right.
Or they got me and my brother, my parents told me and my brother to go into a Cracker Barrel and just start playing.
Okay.
We got kicked out, but on the way out, they let us walk up to every single table, and each table like gave us money. You know, it's like 2 children, like an 8-year-old, a 13-year-old. They like felt bad for us.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
But that's just those are a couple examples of what my childhood was like.
So how long have you been playing guitar? And is guitar your main instrument?
Yeah, I've been playing guitar since I was 11. Over the pandemic, I got really into playing the drums.
Okay.
And I kind of feel more comfortable on drums now than I do on guitar. I think it's more, it just comes more naturally to me. I don't know a lot of like, I don't know scales or theory or anything like that. So I love the drums because you can just like sit down and hit shit. You don't have to ask people like what, I can cuss on this, right?
Yeah, well, I think you already have.
I've cussed multiple times, so
No, it's totally fine.
But yeah, like I feel like, you know, I can sit down and like jam with somebody, and I don't have to be like, what key is this in? And then like act
Right.
like how to, you know, I can play my own. Like I feel like writing songs too. I can what I hear.
Oh no, you cut out totally from there. Just then.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, say that answer again.
Oh, I know enough guitar to like write like what I hear in my head.
Okay.
But like, and I can learn, but I don't know. I just don't have the passion for it as I mean, as I do with like, I love drums. I love, there's something primal about it. I play bass too, but those are the main 3. I don't really like, I can't play like, you know, trumpet or piano or anything.
Got it. Okay, so you started off playing guitar mostly for songwriting purposes, and you meander along in the biz. You've left the bus, and now you put a band together, or you just start compiling a bunch of songs. How did you get signed?
Okay, so when I was 15, like going on 16, I would play a lot of bars in like Northeast Ohio, and I had a couple residencies that would, you know, they would kind of sneak me in, or one bar, they had a patio, and they had a gate that they would unlock, and they would let me in through the patio and out through the patio. So that was the workaround because I wasn't like actually in the bar.
Right.
So I had gigs like that, and they were getting pretty popular, and I think Dan Arbach of the Black Keys,
Right.
had come to one of the shows and gotten one of my like little CDs. Me and my brother were making and, you know, putting stickers on in my dad,
Right.
and gave it to Dan, and then he sent me a MySpace message.
Whoa.
And was like, hey, I like your music. We should like hang out and get together. And then we started hanging out and recording. The original intention was that we were going to start a band together. And so we recorded like half my songs, half his songs. And then that sort of split off into my first record and his solo record. So like some of those songs on his solo record, I was singing on, and we kind of like wrote them and did them at the same time. But that was an interesting time for sure. And I remember I was dating this guy, and I told him, he was a huge Black Keys fan, and I didn't really know anything about the band. And I was like, hey, it's that guy from that band you like. And he was like, oh, somebody's messing with you. It's no way that's him. I was like, oh, no, I'm gonna call him and see.
That's funny. And so, okay, so you're working with him. You're originally gonna do a band, and then, but how does it get to a point where you actually? How long after that did you get signed?
About a year.
So you were how old?
17.
17.
Yeah.
So when you're on, I saw you did Letterman.
Yeah, I was
From
20. I was 20 on Letterman.
you're 20 years old on Letterman.
Yeah.
Was that intimidating?
Yeah. Oh my God. And I was like really, so somebody had canceled. So it was super last minute and I was on tour and I had to cancel a show to go do it. And then I was super sick and like I had like this really bad cough. So I was also really worried that I was just going to like go into like a coughing fit, like in the middle of the song on stage. And like, so that was scary. I remember just like, yeah, it was one of the most, and back then I was so young, everything was just embarrassing. So more so
Okay.
felt like embarrassed. I remember like people in like my hometown were having like viewing parties and they were like trying to invite me and I like watched it alone, like in like, you know, like on my couch like this, like, you know, it was like, oh. You know, like I was just like, I don't know. Now I don't, you know, I'm not embarrassed of anything, but like back then everything just was so hard. It all happened so. The first album like gained this popularity, and when you're that young and you don't really know who you are, and then other people are kind of like commenting on you publicly and like telling you who you are, what they think about you. It's just like this really like uncomfortable feeling.
Do you look back now? Have you watched? I'm sure you've watched that performance as like an adult, and do you appreciate it more than you did in the moment?
Oh yeah. All the things I didn't like about it, then now I'm like, those were like, it was fine. It was great. It was good. Good job. I'm proud of myself. You know what I mean? Like all the things I worried about, I shouldn't have. It was fine. But yeah, I definitely like. I remember one girlfriend was like, "You should have like dyed your roots," and like sent me like a text message. I was like, "I don't care." Like all these little details, you know what I mean? That was like the one thing. It was like my best friend at the time. Like she wasn't like, "Great job," whatever. She was like,
Right.
"Your hair looks like shit." I was like,
Thanks. Thanks.
girls, yeah, young girl stuff, but yeah.
Okay, so I know we've just been shooting the shit, and I love it, but I've got like a million questions.
Yeah, let's go.
So, okay, so how do you navigate like the balance between personal experience and keeping part of your life private in your songs?
I don't. I almost think that I'm a bad songwriter in the sense that like I just kind of I don't have the talent of writing about like two guys riding a horse in the 1800s. You know what I mean? Like if
That's a very specific talent.
yeah, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like you hear like songs and it's like, you know, these people are writing these great story songs about like these imaginative stories. And like, I'm just like, you know, listen to this crazy thing this guy said to me. Here's what I said back. Here's what I wish I would have said back. You know, like a lot of times too, I feel like it's like, I'll sing from the perspective of someone else talking to me. And sometimes I'll even say what I wish they were thinking. So it's very self-centered, you know. It's like what I wish that person would have said to me, what I wish I would have said to them, what they did say to me, like how I reacted to that. It's all in my bubble. You know, I can't really go much further outside of that.
Right. I get that. I mean, it's more of like you have a magic marker in your brain and you have a scenario or an inspiration and you get to just kind of change it to what you want it to be. You can make it weirder or darker. So it's not really fibbing. It's just colorfully creating a more, I guess, relatable scenario to yourself.
Yeah. And it's also fun too to like really piss somebody off.
Uh-huh.
Like I mean, I definitely have a lot of like vengeful songs where it's just like, oh yeah, it's like you know, you think you're going to treat me like crap? Well, guess what? I'm not going to say anything about it. And I'm going to let you think that you got away with it. And then I'm going to write a song that has all of your most personal like details and information in it and sing it in front of everyone. And then you're going to feel embarrassed and hot with shame. And I'm going to, yeah, so that's, yeah, some songs are just pure vengeance.
Pure vengeance. Would you rather be in love, like romantically tortured when you're in writing mode, or do you ever sit down to write, or does it come to you?
I do both. I mean, like, more so it kind of comes to me, and a lot of times if I'm like in the car or in the shower, like if I'm like slightly distracted, then like I'll just get like a stream of consciousness. So I'll pull out like the voice notes and like, or if I sit down with a guitar, I'll write a song. I write a lot, and it's kind of annoying because like I can't do it. I write faster than I can do anything with them. Mm-hmm. I've got a tour coming up, and I need to be practicing the songs. And every time I pick up the guitar to relearn my old songs, I write a new one, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this?
Right.
But I think being tortured is probably because I don't know, when I started writing, it's kind of like journaling. So like I feel like if I get my feelings, it's like good for me to just get my feelings out and like move on. And if I'm happy, I don't really think about writing that much. I just like go live.
Right.
Be happy.
But if you get like let's say I don't know, are you married? Are you dating?
I am in the midst of my second divorce.
Okay, so you're on the initial descent from your previous situation.
Yes, I am. I'm not dating right now.
Okay, so were you able to pull stuff from your situation?
Definitely. That's been one of the silver linings of multiple divorces is just the songs. All the material from the emotions are. Yeah.
I get that. I totally get that. It's like the bittersweet component of it. It's just like, this hurts a lot, but I get to fucking just roast. And yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of exciting. And I feel like I'm like so raw. I'm so like free, and I have like no responsibility. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I feel like I'm in my 20s, so it's been good.
You said you feel like you're in your 20s?
Yeah.
That's great. Will you be playing drums at all on your tour?
No. I wish. I mean, who knows? Maybe with the second. I've got an East Coast band and a West Coast band, and the East Coast drummer is a homie of mine. I'm sure during the sound checks I'll play his drums. Who knows? We might work something out. But he's like one of my favorite drummers ever. So I'm super stoked. But yeah, maybe.
I'm very excited for your Los Angeles date. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, you gotta get up. You're announcing the show.
Yep.
Special guest.
Sure, I'll do whatever you want. It'd be like an honor. We could sing something. I was playing. I figured out one of your songs. I figured out "Hearts Are Wrong" because you used my favorite chord of all time. In that you use and I'm not going to play your stuff in front of you, but you use this chord. Let's see if you can see it there. It's It's like the right, or is it just these two?
You had it right the first time. Yeah.
I love it. I just like
that. You're gonna play it.
Yep. Oh my gosh, that would be the coolest thing in the entire world.
You're on. You're locked in. Special guest.
Locked in, special guest. But also, do you know there's one of your songs that I'm positive Whiskey Town and Tim McGraw totally stole from you?
You said that. What year was their song written?
I don't know, but it's probably okay. Well, here was my detective work, which probably failed because timeline-wise, you didn't tour with Whiskey Town. You toured with Ryan, correct?
Was Ryan
Adams, right?
Yes.
But now,
yeah. So
yeah. He's what?
He is a fan of my music. So.
Okay, good. I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of Whiskey Town. But have you ever heard their song 16 Days?
No.
Oh, girl, after you get off, listen to 16 Days. And it's the identical tone of For Today.
Hmm.
It's like identical.
Okay.
And then Tim McGraw, there's a lyric you have in his song, and it's the same chorus melody for one line of live like you were dying.
Okay.
And it's something like, and I love sweeter, and like you kind of have that same thing with in
Listen,
that.
I have heard that song. That song might be before my song. I could have subconsciously made, but I don't know. Let's
I'm
look at the year times and see. Songwriting is such an interesting thing because it's this like subconscious soup. But it's funny. I don't know what it was, but I was in a gas station and I heard this like newer pop country song, and it was like 1,000% ripped from one of my songs, and I was
sure.
and people reach out to me all the time and they go, hey, and it'll be like a huge artist, and I'll be like, that they're like that this kind of sounds like one of your songs, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, what can you do? It's just the worst.
But I also have where people will like copy my outfits and stuff, and it'll be like an identical outfit to something I wore, and again it'll be somebody, and that's just like way too big for me to even say anything about it, but I'll be like, they're even in the same position that I was in, like in my photo, it's like the same outfit, and they'll be like posing the same way, and I'm just like, because I'm just at that level where like I'm not popular enough for people to know where they're drawing inspiration from, so I'm a good place to like come down and like steal ideas from.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows like where they got it from, so whatever, it's flattering.
Yeah, no, I listen. I have people swipe stuff. I swipe stuff all the time, and it's just like, and it's like, what can you do? It's like, I always say when everyone's like, "Oh, they took your joke. Are you mad?" I'm like, "No, I'll just write more." It's just
That is exactly how I feel. I mean, I write enough songs and I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, go for it. If and if somebody copies my hair or my outfit or whatever, like, I'll come up with another vibe. Like
yeah,
the vibes are endless over here.
100%. Endless vibes. That should be the name of another album. Endless vibes. Um, do you like touring for as a headliner, like for you to like so you get a longer show for your fans, or do you like being support to attract a larger audience?
I like being support because the shows are shorter and I'm not in charge. I don't necessarily love being in charge of the entire operation and like the whole band, and like I don't know, there's a lot of like keeping track of like dumb stuff like t-shirts and the vinyl count, and like is the bass player in the van, and where's the hotel and all that. I like just like I like when it's like you play like a 20-minute gig and then you get to watch a band you really like,
Mm-hmm.
and then you leave and they have to like do everything, and it's just like kind of, and you go like check out a pizza joint or something, so I don't know. Yeah.
I get that. Do you prepare like? Do you have a ritual or an emotional preparation for a gig, or like if you wake up and you have a show, is there something that you do from the beginning to the regular show, or is it just like you got to be there at 7?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I've kind of tried that stuff. It's interesting. I was thinking I kind of want to implement something like that with, because again, like I've got to, I'm going to have a crew of people that are near and dear to my heart. And I was thinking we need some kind of, special handshake or like little song or something before we
Mm-hmm.
on, but I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Okay, special handshake could be on board. That'd be sort of cool. My thing was when I started performing, I've been doing it since I don't know 1990.
Okay.
The very first book I read this David Lee Roth biography, and he was like, no matter what he did, he didn't eat 8 hours before he performed just because he wanted to know what it was like to feel hungry. So I was like, I was like 20, so I was like, yeah, man, I'm not eating 8 hours before a show. To this day, I just for whatever reason it's just stapled.
Okay, so my parents, they wouldn't eat until after the show. And so like that used to drive me crazy because like as a kid, like I would be hungry all and like I'm playing shows with my parents, and afterwards like the whole family would starve, and then we would eat dinner, at like 1 a.m. at some like diner. And so I think now I have zero problem. I like to think of it as like, I like to eat something greasy and just let like the grease like coat my vocal cords, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like some French fries or some onion rings, and just like, but yeah, no, I'm way down to eat before the show.
That's awesome. Good for you. Do you have any advice to like younger artists? Let's see. Wait, how did I write? I wrote a cool question version of this. What advice would you give to young artists who are trying to find their voice and to stay authentic in an industry that often demands compromise?
I mean, yeah, just like, I mean, it's gonna sound like cheesy or whatever, but like follow your heart. You know what I mean? Like listen to because at the end of the day, like people that aren't, especially with, you know, industry vibes, like people that aren't creative are going to try to like steer you in different directions, but they don't have to like, at the end, you know, they're not always going to be with you. You know, you carry your name. So if you're making decisions on your career and your creativity based on, you know, a guy in a suit who you might fire 2 years from now, you know, he doesn't have to live with like the repercussions of the decisions, you know. And I think for me, a lot of people just really tried to tone down like the wild hillbilly vibes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I had this publicist who would be like, "You can't say that, don't say that," you know. And it's like, I should have just been, I was so scared to be myself, you know. But I get it that I was, it was feral and terrifying, and you know, but it's people think that's cool.
I think people are always drawn to authenticity.
Exactly. So just be yourself, and like for real, don't worry about like other opportunities will come along. Like I was always worried that I would lose an opportunity, you know, if I didn't like conform.
Right.
But I bet there opportunities will come along. Again, don't worry about missing out. Yeah.
Sure. No, that's why we're fast instant Facebook friends, because we both have this appearance of cool, but we're both secretly country as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about.
But yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay, blue skies again. Then I hope you're not bored. We've got like 7 or 8 minutes left.
I don't care.
As long as you're having fun.
Yeah. I
Okay.
did guys again.
You what?
I did not write that song.
Okay, well then I did not know that because it doesn't say anything on iTunes or wherever. It just has the song, but it's okay. So that would explain why it's almost like more hopeful.
Yeah,
The-
yeah. My really good friend Josh Joplin and my brother wrote that song, and it's very rare that I play songs that, again, because I have so many songs, it's very rare that I play other people's songs. But I heard that song and I loved it, and I wanted it to be on that album because it kind of needed an arc of hopefulness that I did not contain inside me during those years. So I was like, you know, this album kind of needs something a little more upbeat.
Yeah, it was like not having nothing to do with the songwriting or in comparison to the other songs, but I was like, oh, this is hopeful, and the other stuff is not. So I was like, is this irony? Is this sort of like the Smashing Pumpkins "Today is the Greatest" sort of tongue in cheek, or is it sincere and makes sense that you didn't write it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Meadow, did you write that one?
Yes.
Okay, it's like super haunting and like atmospheric. Like, how did you create the mood?
Well, I mean, that song, I was opening up, I think it was for Grace Potter. And at the time I had a very like tumultuous relationship with my first husband. And that was a very intense, controlling situation where he kind of like was in charge of everything, and he was a wild animal, and he was like my manager and all, and it was very interwoven, huge age difference, like the whole thing was weird. And but I remember at that point, you know, I was really trying not to like party and do drugs and stuff. And I remember and drink, and at the end of the show, like they're busting out whiskey and everybody's like, you know, getting drunk, and I just wanted to go back to the hotel room, and like the rest of my band wanted to stay. And so like I went out to the van and I wrote that song in the van, you know, and it starts like, I'm afraid of the party, you know,
Mm-hmm.
leave me alone, like, you know, like, but then the line about being in the meadow was like, I remember like he took me out into this like meadow and like gave me a bunch of mushrooms and then like tried to convince me to like trust him. And so like, you know, it's like when we were in the meadow, like I believed you, but can I like trust you now? You know, it's like all this like, so yeah, it's just that whole thing was very much like, again, just being like in my early 20s and like having this person kind of like gaslight me and feed me all these things and me like processing them.
I dig it. I'm sorry that happened, but I'm also very excited that that was the end result because I dig that tune. All right, so now we are going into the rapid fire portion of the show, considering I only asked you like one of the questions I was going to because we've been having so much fun talking. So you ready?
Yeah.
Rapid fire. Here we go. You said before that some of your songs were like diary entries. Can you share a story? No, you just did. You just shared a really cool story. You said that your songs were like diary entries. Do you have a diary?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have volumes of this diary? Like, you like once you finish another one, do you save them and then go back and make reference to it?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
With a key? Is there a key on the diary?
No. I had bought one with a little padlock, but I threw it away. I've got like a giant duffel bag full of journals.
Duffel Bag of Diaries is the next name of the next album after Eternal, whatever the other one was, Eternal Vibes or whatever. Okay, and I Want to Love You. What, like, in the song I Want to Love You, what inspired, like, the vulnerability and confidence? It's like there's a weird juxtaposition. It's like super vulnerable, super confident at the same time.
That's how it's written about a guy who was stalking me. And
oh, that's awesome.
Written from his perspective, and I was reading he would send me these letters. And so in the letters they would be like covered in tears, and he wouldn't send them to me, by the way. They would just show up in my mailbox without a stamp. So he was like
Neat.
Yard. That was cool. But yeah, he had like this whole one like our whole life planned out together, and then he was confused as to whether or not like he thought we had a relationship together, but we didn't. Like he said, and then he was like, my doctor says I'm schizophrenic and all this stuff, so you know, like I'm insane, I want to love you, like I have things I want to do, I want to do these things with you, I have visions in my brain that are different from the truth, you know, like it was all just like embodying like the emotion that was in all of these letters. And once I wrote and released that song, he stopped reaching out to me.
Typical dude.
So, and then he ghosted me.
Typical dude. So if you're listening out there, if you write tear-soaked letters to Jessica and place them in her mailbox without a stamp, you're gonna get a song. Just so you know.
If you do fucked up to me, you're guaranteed a song.
Guaranteed a song. All right, these next two questions are made me laugh, but here they go. For Today is the best song ever. Do you know that?
No.
Okay, that is correct. Standing in the Sun is the best song ever. Do you know that?
No, thank you.
Sure. Our Hearts Are Wrong. That's the best song ever. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that either, but thanks.
Okay, continue with rapid fire. Are you sorry that Sorry is gone?
No, I'm not sorry.
Okay. Who wins in a fight, Ryan Adams or his old violin player, Caitlin Carey?
I don't know her, but yes. So, but let's put the chicks in
power. Sure. So we'll say Caitlin. What song in the history of songs you wish you wrote?
Birdhouse in Your Soul by They Might Be Giants.
Oh, it's a great song.
Yeah.
Favorite go-to road snack?
I like candy, chocolate, donuts, and Reese cups. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Reese cups. They used to be a problem with me. I used to do 6 of them like a day, like 2 of those, like the Big King things, 3 times 6.
The
like,
bigger they are, the better they taste. The ratio.
It's just
right now the pumpkins are out. Those are if they're shaped like anything, like a tree or a pumpkin, they taste.
It's the weirdest thing. It's like Coca-Cola at McDonald's. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. It's like anytime a Reese's peanut butter cup is in whatever holiday shape, it's just better.
It's flat. No, I have a Reese cup problem too. I have to stay away. I'll get my foot will go numb.
Yeah. My doctor was like, "Why aren't you on heroin? It's healthier." I'm like, "Oh, good point." Okay, when you toured with Cake, were they cool?
Yeah, they were super fun. It was a long time ago, but that was a blast.
Didn't the singer get in trouble for something?
Oh God, I don't know. I really liked him. He was really nice. I hope he didn't, because
I think he got in trouble.
for what?
I think I mean
What
not
he
that I think he did something deviant. I think it was sexual related. I think
come
he I'm serious. I think I can't even say.
okay.
I'll text it to you because I don't want to say it, but I know that they got canceled because of something he did.
Everybody gets. I mean, if I said everything that was on my mind, I thought about that. Like, I mean, I would get canceled. I think we all would if we all said, or I don't know. I mean, and I don't know. I don't know what he did. It was probably really bad. I probably haven't done anything that bad, but I could get canceled. You could get canceled if you wanted to.
I mean, if you try hard enough, it's like no one, with the exception of Weinstein, no one has ever been canceled. Like when Shane got canceled and got kicked off SNL, he became a gigantic comedic success. There's so many different things, and it's like Louis C.K. didn't really get canceled, and it's just like
Joke about what, like, I see skits all the time where people are like joking about why he got canceled. It's like, oh yeah, but I don't know. So yeah, but yeah, I think that I don't know. I would hope that if I got canceled, it would just give me a large group of assholes that lifted me up and supported me.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, handful of questions left. One word that describes you as an artist.
Crazy.
Favorite song lyric you've written.
Ooh. Oh, this is a tough one. I think Party Drugs. I mean, I really, that whole song I feel like is really vulnerable, and I really like, okay, it was funny because I was just thinking about working it back into the set. And there was a line from it where I was like, I'm really proud of that. I gotta think about it for a second. Liz, that you and me are a pack of dogs, and yeah, like the whole song I think is something that I'm proud of.
That's awesome.
So I have to go right now. I'm blanking on the line that I was like, I'm really proud of that one, but like it'll come to me as soon as we're done.
Totally fair. Let's see. When you were walking, where was my left hand?
In my your left. I was in my back pocket.
That's correct. Who are the type of people who slide into your DMs? Lovers, lusters, or fans?
Wait, the people that slide into my DMs,
are they lovers, lusters, or fans?
All of the above. My second boyfriend just slid up from when I was like 16, slid in there. A lot of people who are really hoping for a chance to like date me that like are complete strangers that have like, people who talk to themselves like in my DMs every single day. That it's like some guy who lives in Wisconsin and who I've never met before, who has like no profile pictures. And, like I'm like, okay, yeah, it's like, hey, when next time you're in Wisconsin, let's get together. And it's like, you don't know anyone I know. I don't even know what you look like.
Right.
Like, what makes you think I'm gonna reply and be like, yeah, let's have a passionate romance? And so, I get a lot of like technical questions too. Like, so what pedal did you use?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a nerd time, but yeah.
Okay, a couple more. I heard you're shooting a music video soon. Is anyone famous or cool going to be in it?
No, yeah. I mean, there might be a super, super special guest in the.
Okay.
He's still down. You're still down, right?
Of course he is. I mean, of course I am. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, and.
I gotta send you the song. I'll send you the song today.
Yeah, that'd be great. And then last question, what is next for you?
Well, I have a new record coming out November. I have a tour that is in the fall and winter. And then I have another record that is nearly done. That's getting like finished up right now. And some side projects that I'm working on. So just doing the thing.
That's awesome. We're gonna write a song together, right?
Yeah, that's immediately next. That is happening.
Yay. All right. Well, Jessica, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for letting me speak to you as a friend and as a fan for 39 minutes. If you're, tell us about your website where people can go check out your tour information.
So I guess I just use social media. So my Instagram, Jessica Lee Mayfield, Facebook, I have all the information should be on there. Yeah, to come check out the tour dates and all that kind of stuff. And I love you. You are a rad dude.
I feel appreciated. The love is mutual. Please, everybody, check out Jessica. Her stuff is fucking awesome. It is the greatest Gopher long walk music, and it's just diggable. So thanks again, Jessica. I'll say bye, and then we'll say bye off the air. So and record.